If you're just joining us, you're watching Local 4. I'm Carmen Herlin along with Devin Skillion, and we have been trying to piece together what life is like after 4 o'clock here in the Detroit area, because we lost power, as did the cities of New York, Toronto, Ottawa, Cleveland, all affected are without power. There are some places in the state of Michigan. The entire state has not been affected. Western Michigan still has power, and so does parts of Ohio. But right now, the metropolitan Detroit area is experiencing a massive power outage.
In fact, both of you who are watching on battery-operated televisions, you're among the very fortunate. If you've got a memory for national news, you might think back to 1996, some 7 years ago, a power outage that affected 9 states across the West. Commissioner, thanks very much. And again, a great point. On a day when fighting a fire is going to be very difficult, precaution and prevention even more important than it usually is. You're looking at a live picture of Jefferson Avenue downtown, and it is just about at a standstill, and part of this is just normal afternoon traffic. The border is often jammed around this late hour, the rush hour, but because of the security problems that we mentioned earlier, the computer profiling that has to be done there around the tunnel, you're looking at an even bigger problem than usual. And of course, this area here that we're seeing now is beyond the tunnel as you go past the Rensen, and it's still jammed.
The Grosse Pointe area. Rachel Bianco has made it her way inside Metro Airport. And what are they telling passengers who were planning to exit from Metro Airport today, Rachel?
Well, Carmen, right now they're not telling passengers much. They have a lot of questions, as do we. We just arrived here and are still waiting for some sort of official word from a manager here at the airport. But we are hearing that no flights are leaving, but they did allow some to land. There is some power here through generators. The lights are running on the runway, and the control tower is working. The computers, they have minimal power, but the baggage belt is down, the air conditioning is down, and they only have a minimal computer use and a security system.
In fact, we got this Southwest Sky Cam shot. You got Devin here. Where you're sending trucks. So I send you a crew we got no light there. We got one. Each has a crew. Each has a crew.
As soon as we can, Shafe needs to know where some of these crews are.
29 is not answering.
Local 4. She is not in the newsroom right now.
Yeah, but nobody can say.
Take Emory over to DTE.
I'm sorry, that's right. You take Emory. Brad is coming back.
Where is it? Emory.
Emory? Jim.
No, the airport is affected.
It would be a tall order to expect everybody to have power back tonight. Tony Early telling us earlier that there are a number of plants that are damaged. It's going to take a day or two to get parts back to those plants. Let's get back to Emory King at DTE. And Emory, all of that sounded very hopeful. Obviously, from the mayor, it would be terrific to think that all the problems will be solved quickly. However, we know that some people are going to have problems for probably more than just tonight.
Exactly, and that was emphasized by Tony Early here at Detroit Edison earlier. We'll show you a picture of the Detroit Edison over here. It's very quiet right now. A couple of reporters out front. Earlier, when we arrived here about 4:45 or so this afternoon, all of the employees were streaming out. The building had been evacuated. Tony Early's office is on the 24th floor of this building. He said when we asked him what happened up there when the lights went out, he said quite simply, it got dark. But to get back to what you were saying, Devin, Tony came out 2 times, was very nice to update us on this. He will come back out again tonight at 9 o'clock. And what he said essentially was that everybody's power is out here. The good news is that power is available in the state. There are some power sources in Ohio, but it is a matter now, a very deliberate matter, of starting this process of getting the power back on. There are plants in 9 locations for Detroit Edison, and there are multiple units in each of those locations. 4 or 5 of those units in 3 of those locations have been damaged, according to Tony Early. They are in the process, obviously, of getting to those units. There are 2 units up in St. Clair that are up and running. There are 2 more units, he didn't say where, that are in the process of being gotten up and running. However, that doesn't mean that consumers will get power just because those plants are now up and running. They are part of the process of getting all of the power restored to these plants so it can start kicking out some power. As I said, it is a very deliberate process. Tomorrow is anticipated to be one of the hottest days of the summer and one of the highest load days for DTE Energy. A very high load day tomorrow, and so that necessitates people keeping their major appliances turned off, especially air conditioners turned off, to avoid what they call rotating blackouts, so that DTE will be able to manage the load as the power comes back on. Those of you who have generators, good for you. Those of you, those 2 or 3 of you who don't, or are at neighbors' houses watching us on their generators, know that. Go home, turn off your air conditioners, turn off your major appliances. And again, Tony Early said that this is going to be a process that will take hours, not minutes, but he wouldn't be pinned down on a specific time.